Greetings, TBN family. My name is Shalom, and welcome to another episode of TBN Meets. And today I am with the multifaceted musical maestro, a man who ministers through his music. Ladies and gentlemen, Mandisi, Dyantyis.
Hi.
Good day, sir.
How are you?
Thank you so much for being with us on TBN Meets.
Yes.
We do not take it lightly at all. And here you are as a musician, as a minister of music. You minister through your music. And how did this journey begin for you?
Thank you so much for having me. I feel really, really, really honored to be here. It's surreal, actually. It's been a long journey. I think some stories I hear, because they say I started music when I was 6, 7. I know I grew up in a big family with cousins and sisters and everyone. And so they got involved in music through cultural groups. They got involved in the music through church. And so I was following as the youngest. And so I landed in the choir. I landed up in the cultural group, and I landed up in the bands that were around. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. I really didn't know. I was following my big sister, my older sister, Mandisi, basically. And that's how I started.
You started in the church with your singing. Could you share with us the background of the church for you? I know the Methodist Church plays a big role in your upbringing and how you grew in your art and your gift in music.
Yeah. So there's 2 churches that play a major role in my upbringing. There's the first one is the Salvation Army. That's where we go. I got my basis for music studying, because they've got a beautiful tradition of brass bands, and so that's where I learned how to read music, and probably where I knew that I was going to play some sort of instrument. The Methodist Church is from my father's side. Okay. And so it was always calling me, and so, but when I started with it, I sort of found as well the essence of who I was as a Black child, as a Xhosa man, as someone who was aspiring to lead a life, that impacted other people. I didn't really know how, but that was my conviction, and I think that's where everything started.
Still, when we speak about your background in the church and how you grew in the music itself, we are all a result of the prayers of our parents and our grandparents. Who is that praying woman or man for you?
My grandmother, without a shadow of a doubt. Actually, my great-grandmother, to start with. I'm fortunate that I lived and saw my great-grandmother. And then my grandmother took over when she passed. My house is the type of house where you prayed every day at 4.
Come on.
Yeah. It didn't matter what day it was. It didn't matter what was happening, but there would be prayer. And now when I think about the contents of that prayer, it always moves me, because all it was, they were praying for a better life for us. They were praying so that God guides us. It was always that. And she'd call us all by names.
Come on.
Every time she'd call us all by names. My grandmother's last prayer before she passed, I was in Cape Town, and my sister and my cousins were in the house, and they heard her shouting and saying, "God, you can take me now. My youngest is in Cape Town and is doing fine." And that was me. So even in her last minute, she remembered me, And so people always ask me, what happens to you on stage? And I always say, I constantly have to remind myself that I'm an answered prayer.
Come on.
Because I think once we understand those things about ourselves, it's easy to make the decisions of how we lead our lives.
True. That's true.
Because every time you make a decision, faces and voices of people, who sacrifice for you come alive. And you feel them at some point.
Yes.
You know, as you walk, as you think, as you write, as you are given platforms, you want their names to be lifted.
Man.
You know.
But Mandisi, in the Xhosa culture, we all grow up with a foundational hymn, if I could call it that we all stand by, that we rely on, that is passed from former generations to past generations and future generations as well.
Yeah.
And we call it Intonga Yakho. What is a Yakho Intonga?
In my house, as I said, it took me a long time to have Intonga. It took me a very, very long time. Ekhaya, it's 258 in the Methodist hymns. Jerusalem, ekhaya lam, endilithandayo. There's a verse there that says, Namabandla bapostile anqonga umsindisi nabo bonke bakuKristu baya kuya khona. You see, and that was the hymn that always carried me. And then I lost my mother. I remember coming back from Port Elizabeth, Gqeberha now, back to Cape Town. And a hymn came to my spirit, not even to my mind. 229 in the Methodist hymn. Thandi womphefumulo wam, mawundikhusele nam. Zakufika inzingo zam, nokuthandabuza kwam. Ndifihle mkhululi wam, dezidlule ingozi zam. Khokhela umphefumulo wam, undamkele Nkosi yam.
Nkosi yam.
And that became my hymn. So everybody knows when they want to break me, when they want to break the Mandisi and have the spiritual person that is within me, they sing that song for me. There's a verse there that says, Andinanqaba imbi endingatshona kuyo, andinathemba limbi endingalibambayo, ebuthathakeni bam mawundithuthuzele, yikhuseli intloko yam ngephiko lobubele. Just a hymn that always reminds you that you're held.
That you're held. God has kept you. That you're
held.
That you're held. But Mandisi, you have taken your gift and by the grace of God, you have shared it with the world. Your experiences, how you grew up and all the other experiences as up to date, if I could put it that way. What has been the key highlights or milestones in your journey through music?
For me, it's simple. There was a time where I used to sit in a room, very small room, and practice and dream and pray and wish that, one, I would live a life that pleased God. Two, that I would use my talent in the way that God would be content with it. And now I find myself in a position where I write songs, people sing the songs, and people connect with the songs. And I go on stages and people sing the songs with me. For me, that is always my highlight. I look in the audience and I see random strangers who are crying because they're singing a song that I wrote.
In your written songs and in your singing, here you are, you accompany your songs with the trumpet. As it's famously known, actually, Reverend Trevor Huddleston famously gave our legendary Hugh Masekela his first trumpet. In your life, who gets the honor of introducing you to your first trumpet?
There's two gentlemen. One is a Reverend now, Teteleli Memane. It's a very hard man. It's a very, very hard man, but he taught me the trumpet. And my first musical mentor, Buyile Dingane. I don't think I'd be a musician if it weren't for him. And that's just that. There's no other thing I can say. I saw passion. I saw a black man passionate about music and about teaching and uplifting young people. And I carry that passion with me all the time. You know, that, and I think at that young age, they made me understand that what I was getting into was a very serious emotional business.
You write your own music, you compose as well, you share your experiences. But to people who perhaps think or are asking, actually, what is the process that you undergo as an individual in writing your music, and composing, in sharing the story, especially because your stories are so vast, where you write about family, you write about relationships, you write about healing, you write about revival, restoration. What is the process that you undergo as Mandisi Dyantyis in putting this on paper, but knowing that eventually you want to connect it with the world?
I don't have a process. I believe that music comes from God. I don't have the power to write music. I don't have the means to write music. All I am is I try to be a conduit. So the only thing that you can do, therefore, as a conduit is that you need to at least make yourself ready for when the gift comes, that you can hear it and you can accept it.
Come on.
So I live. I go out and run. I go out to the shops. I go out and engage with people and talk to people. I live a life that, I always live a life that sees the suffering of others. So when I walk in the streets, I look at just the discrepancies, between the rich and the poor, where others live and how the others live, and what people they become because of those things. I think a lot of people now, all they want is just to be seen.
Oh.
I always say, and I always make this example, that I write for the lady or the gentleman who wakes up at 3:30 every day, takes a taxi in a dangerous community, drives an hour, goes to the suburbs and works until 7 o'clock at night and does that every single day. That's the person I write for.
Come on.
So that person can listen to this music and go, oh, something about me. This music says something about me. In the world that is so caught up in consumerism and a lot of, and I want to get a lot of. There are people who are just doing the simple things.
That's true. You have gifted South Africa and the world with 2 greatly acclaimed albums. The first one is titled Somandla. The second one is titled Twaka. And now you've actually given us a foretaste of the most recent composition, Yako, Inhlambululo, Ukuhlambulula. Can you share with us the journey about those albums, on those albums themselves, the gifts that you have given us so far in your journey?
Someone that came at a time where I had to acknowledge that I was but a creature. And because I was a creature, I had a creator. I had this thing, I always obsess with concepts, sorry if I sound crazy. So I was there, and I also needed to acknowledge that as a creature, there's certain things that you cannot comprehend. There's just things you're not going to understand about your life. And every now and then you have to go back to the creature and to the creator and say, why am I here? So that the song Somandla asks the question, so pelelapi xa kunje? Where will we end up? Because I was seeing in our community that it was just a mess and people didn't know where to go, but also people didn't know who to ask and where to take all of these problems and worries and burdens to. In Twaka, I was seeing a lot of people actually getting in trouble because they were just saying everything and answering and speaking them, and I remembered that there's a verse that says, "Nina niyakuthi cwaka, uyavuya uthini uyakunilwela."
Hey.
That sometimes all we need to do is to go, God, here's the battle. I don't know what to do with it. You do what you have to do.
The recent composition, I know I'm very excited about it, just from the theme, Inhlambululo, Ukuhlambulula, a purification of cleansing, a revival, a process of restoration that is taking place. Why that? What Ntlambululo were you going through at that particular time when you decided to put this on paper and ready to share it?
I think it's in Ntlambululo that I'm going through now. As a people, there's a time where you need to come face to face with yourself. First of all, there's a lot of if you hear in the discourse of our communities nowadays, there's a lot of blame. Yeah, it's because of this. It's because of this. It's because of that. It's because of this. And in Ntlambululo, I want us to take a moment and go, okay, what have I done to contribute to the life that I live? What choices have I made? You know, what choices have I made for myself, for my family, for my community, for my country? And once we answer those, then when we blame, we'll be able to blame from a position of knowing that I also have a role in building myself, in building my family, in building my community, in building my country. Right. Because for me, it's vitally important for us to constantly remember that we've been given so much power in ourselves, you know, to change the situations that we're in. There's so much power, and it's never said. You know, people don't talk about that because they're scared, because once we access that power, you know, to go, today is the day where I alter my history. Yes. You know, it takes hard work, it takes prayer, it takes dedication, it takes focus, yes, but it's already there inside you. Nobody, it's not a thing that, yeah, no, this person can give it to you, or if you listen to this, or if you do. No, you already have it. All you need to do is find ways of accessing it. And in Ntlambululo is all about that. It's saying, who am I? What have I done? Why? Why did I do it? You know, why did I do it? And how can I get out of it if I have to get out of it? Or what can I change if I have to change? Or what can I supplement if I have to supplement it? But it's all about me first.
It's about you and ways of tapping into yourself and finding that power.
Yeah.
Now, one sitting at home could ask themselves, but I don't feel that power, or I perhaps don't have means of tapping into that power. But I listen to a song like Mabaphile that is written by Mandisi Dyantyis. Share with us Mabaphile Phila, the significance and purpose behind that song and the unleashing that that song brings to a person who's listening to it.
We have to speak healing. We have to speak the things that we want for our country and our community and our fellow people. We have to. Sometimes you look at people, you know. Sometimes you have to take a step back and look at a person and realize that this person is going through something. They don't have to tell you. You know, we are ubuntu betu buphele in so much that we cannot even see a person in pain.
That's true.
I constantly see how people relate to people who have lost people. Go, this one was hard. This one hit different. Every death should hit different, whether I know or I don't know it.
And the how part
and
in engaging and translating with people, you know, about that, yes.
And you need to understand, therefore, that people will say things because they're going through things that they don't even know. And so Mabaphile, I'm just speaking healing to them so that they can realize that, ooh, I thought I was this person, but actually I'm not this person. It's just I was going through something. You know? Because pain will make you behave in a certain way.
Yes. Yes.
You know? Hunger will make you behave in a certain way. Loneliness makes you behave in a certain way. And we need to acknowledge that that's a fact, you know, and that's a reality that our people live every single day. You know? So what do people hear most? You know, we are results of words. You know, in the project that you're talking about, in Ntlambululo, there's a song that says, it's Amioli, and it just says, Teta mazwi Amioli. Just be kind to me. Say something nice to me. You know, Because if you say something nice to me, my day changes. You know, in the taxi, I just go, that's a beautiful dress that you're wearing.
Yes.
And if it's altered someone's day, I don't know what they've been going through, you know, when you're going to pay and say, have a good day. Or how was your day? You know,
that's true.
Because that is at the core of community building. Imagine every single day you are told that you're not good enough. Imagine that, you know. And so because I really 150% believe that we have so much power, one of the ways that we can access that power is for fellow people. I'm what I am because of you. I can only live my life fully because of you, because of how you treat me.
That's true.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you are. They said to you, one day someone said to you, you know what, Shalom, you're very good at this thing. You know? And they said it enough times that you started to believe it, and now you're doing it. You know? And so we don't look at those things when we're dealing with people.
Yes.
You know, our society is pulling us so much further that side. That it's so easy. Try it. You know, say something nice to someone once.
And it's all within the power of the tongue. And you manifest it even for that person, whether they've received it in that moment or not. But Mandisi, here we are, closer to the end of the year. And one may say, so where to from now? Yeah. What is it that we can expect? But above all, to God who leads you in your gift and in your ministry as a minister of music. What is your desire in where you want God to place you from this point onwards?
You know, backstage, if you've ever seen me backstage, you'd probably cry. I like to lie down on my back and listen to music. You know, I listen to random whatever, but I make sure that I lie down on the floor. And my prayer is always the same. I always go, God, I don't know what your people want. I don't know what your people want to hear. Please use me to say what your people need. And so I don't know where I'm going tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to produce. I don't know what I'm going to write tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be around tomorrow. But my conviction is always to stay the cause and be truthful to the gift that God has given me. And to never at any point think that I'm the gift. Yes. I'm not here because, look at me, I'm just a random guy. I'm not here because there's a level of importance. I'm here because God has placed something in my heart and in my life. And all I've tried to do is to just communicate
that vessel.
Yeah. So I don't know. Even with the people I work with, I always say to them that, and someone will say, but all your performances are, and I go, because every performance for me is the first one that I do.
Come on.
Every performance that I do is the first one because I don't know the message of the day. Shalom, I don't know the message of the day. All I do is prepare and we prepare to fall. You know, when we fall, some other person can lift you within the bandstand. So that's what we do when we practice, you know. But we don't know what the message of the day is. And we don't even know who we're talking to on that day. Because there might be 5,000 people, you know, that we're performing to, but we're actually talking to one person.
Look.
You know, the stories that I hear, people say, I was playing in Durban once. It was raining. And I saw this lady fighting with the security guards. And I went and she said, I had to see you and say to you, you saved my life. And I went, oh, thank you. She said, you don't understand. I'm not saying you saved my life because it's just the thing that we say when we hear good music. Yes. I said, you literally saved my life. So I had decided that I was going to take my life. And I heard your song and I didn't. I'm here now.
Testimony.
You know, And I was floored. I didn't know what to say. And I said, that's not me. I said, I don't have power to do that.
Yes.
You know, and I think sometimes we just need to remember that.
Njalo.
You know,
Njalo.
our failure and our biggest, the mistake that we do is to believe it, Kabisiti. Hey, you know, well, every time people do that, you need to remind them that you've been gifted.
Yes. All of him and none of us.
Us.
That's true. But Mandisi, to a young musician, aspiring musician, to the viewers at home, that mom, that dad, that child, what is it that you want them to carry with them through your music?
God will place a dream and we will not see it. So that's the process. Don't worry when we do not see it. When you say, I want to be this, and people don't see it, do not worry, please. You might be in a remote area, and you say, I see myself playing big stages around the world, and we will laugh at you. It's fine, it's okay. But follow that, because the more closer you go to it, the more clear you see it. And one day we will believe it, you know, because ngesiXhosa bathanda ukuthi uThixo akalibali idinga. God that never forgets this promise. And if we can live with that, knowing that whatever's been gifted in our hearts is what is meant to be fulfilled, then we'll live a life, at least that has direction.
And taking us out, just that final message through song. Can you just share with us, for somebody who's sitting out there who perhaps is not familiar with your style of music or just your music and your gift that you've chosen to share with the world? If you could just share with us, Uthandaza.
Thandaza, thandaza ungayeki. Hlala uthandaza, thandaza ungayeki. Ungayeki. Ungayeki.
Amen. Pray without ceasing. Pray without ceasing. Thandaza ungayeki, ndiyakholwa ikhona into entle ezawukwenzeka. My name is Shalom, and thank you for joining us on TBN Meets on TBN.